Hello everyone and welcome back to Navis Nobilite. I am Captain Zelnick, and before we get on to the video, I would like to once again shout out to this GoFundMe. James Wapple, who was a multiple Golden Demon winner, recently lost his wife to cancer. He is trying desperately to rebuild his life after spending years taking care of her as she went through chemo. Now the bills have stacked up and he has to worry about paying them all off. He has launched this GoFundMe in an attempt to rebuild his life, and I'm trying my absolute damnedest to help him. If any of you can donate to help him out, please do so. The link will be down in the description. All right, everyone, let's get right on to the tutorial. Today we are going to be talking about Iyanden Craftworld. We will be building I will be showing you how to build a fleet, the best ways to build a fleet, at least in my opinion, and we're going to be talking about the command structure of the Iyanden Craftworld fleet. With all of these tutorial videos, I expect you've gone through and watched my videos about the fleet overview and the individual ships. I hope you will also read the rules, which is always a useful thing. So let's begin. Craftworld Command has a number of options. They have 3 leadership options and a secondary leadership option down here with Farseers. Now, up here, we'll see we have an Autarch, the hero, and we have Prince Uriel, Fancy Pants himself, as options to actually lead the fleet. You can have a single Autarch, you can have a single Eldar hero. Obviously, there were some issues in regards to typos because you can only have one Autarch and you can only have one Eldar hero, and obviously you can only have one Prince Uriel. So it is what it is. Now, you may include a single Eldar Autarch in your fleet who replaces the ship's leadership with his own. If the fleet is over 750 points, he must be included to lead it. You have 2 choices, an Eldar Autarch at LD9 for 75 points, and a Bearer of the Flame at 100 points. You may purchase a single reroll, and he doesn't come with one, for 25 points. The other option is the Eldar Hero. The Eldar Hero has the benefit of taking Corsair Eldar as reserves in his fleet. He comes with LD10 and he's 100 points, so he's just like the Bearer of the Flame. His big benefit is he can purchase up to 3 rerolls. Downside, it's very expensive to do so. Because 1 is 50, 2 rerolls is 75, and 3 is just a full 100 points. It is very expensive to get rerolls on an Eldar character. Farseers are a secondary commander that can go on any capital ship and gives the vessel, any capital ship in the same squadron, or an escort squadron within 15 centimeters, a single reroll. You can have up to 3, and they're 30 points each. Not a bad investment of points. Now, there is also Prince Uriel. Now, he's 150 points standard. He has a couple of benefits. 1, he counts as an Eldar hero, which means he's leadership 10. 2, he has the Aspect Warrior host on his vessel. And 3, his vessel is equipped with Vampire Raiders. On top of that, he also has a single reroll, and a second and third may be purchased at 25 points each. So he can buy rerolls cheaper than any other form of commander. If you take him on the Flame of Assyrian, you reduce his point cost by 25 points. So he suddenly becomes cheaper if you put him on the ship that you should be bringing him on to begin with. But if you don't have a Flame, you can put him on a dragon ship that has launch bays. That's your only other option. So as you can see, he must be embarked on a dragon ship to go to the launch base, even if he's leading a Corsair fleet. So he can never be on a Corsair vessel. He must always be on a Craftworld vessel. Now, on to the actual ships. Your fleet may include up to 1 dragon ship for every 2 wraith ships included in your fleet. If your fleet is led by an Autarch, you may include a single dragon ship as his flagship, which does not count against this limitation. In order to take the Flame of Assyrian, an Eldar hero must lead the fleet and be embarked on it. Remember that Uriel counts as an Eldar hero. You can have up to 1 Flame of Assyrian at 320 points, and the dragon ships are 260. Now, here's a fun little thing. Uriel does not count as this limitation Autarch. Okay? So you take Uriel, and if you actually have the points to take another Autarch on top of it, you get a free dragon ship. So bear that in mind. Now, in reality, you're only going to be taking Uriel, and any dragon ship you take on top of that will be by purchasing 2 other Wraith ships. So, Wraith ships. You can have any number of Wraith ships in your fleet. Now, this is very different from the Corsair list because the Corsair list restricts your number of cruisers. This does not. They are expecting you to take Wraith ships. They are 160 points. Ghost ships. Any capital ship may be upgraded to a ghost ship. Such a vessel may not include a Farseer or Aspect Warrior crew. They also can't have a lot of things. We'll get into that, but it is a free upgrade. Any capital ship in the fleet may be equipped with Aspect Warriors. Aspect Warriors give you +2 on the boarding action and +1 on the hit and run from that ship. Remember that when you are using your Vampire Raiders. Escorts. You may include any number of escorts in your fleet in squadrons of 2 to 6. You may take Shadow Hunters in this fleet at 40 points. Ordnance. Anything that has a launch bay may take Vampire Hunters as shown in the actual profile. If I scroll on down, Dragon ships may equip with Vampire Raiders for 10 points. Can Wraith ships take it? Oh, Wraith ships cannot take them, so it's only the Dragon ships can take Vampire Raiders. So bear that in mind. But in reality, you're going to be taking Vampire Raiders anyway, because if you're going to take a Dragon ship, there's the only viable choice on a Dragon ship is a launch bay. Those torpedoes are nice, but they're not nearly as good as the launch bays, because it's the only efficient launch bay option in the fleet. But moving on. Obviously, you can take torpedo bombers, and obviously they work in the same way with Eldar torpedoes, though they aren't skilled. There's really no definition of a skilled torpedo bomber. Now, reserves and allies. An Eldar hero must lead the fleet in order to use the Corsair Eldar vessels as reserves. Following this, one Corsair Eldar cruiser or light cruiser may be taken for every 3 Dragon ships and or Wraith ships in the fleet. Corsair Eldar escort vessels may be taken in the same ratio of no more than 1 for every 3 Shadow Hunters in the fleet. These may be organized in squadrons in any mix desired, but Corsair Eldar escorts and Shadow Hunters may not be in the same squadron. Up to 1 Voidstalker may be taken in the fleet as long as the fleet is at least 1,000 points and has at least 3 Corsair Eldar cruisers and or light cruisers already present in the fleet. What does this mean? It means Eldar heroes are effectively useless. You're not going to be taking these kinds of reserves unless your fleet is minimum 2,500 to 3,000 points. It just won't work well. You're not going to have any kind of synergy, and you're going to find that there's really not a whole lot of benefit to it. It's just better to take a pure Corsair or pure Craftworld Eldar fleet. Now, what does the overall meta of this fleet really tell us? We're going to be pretty cruiser heavy. We're going to be relying on our biggest chips for things like launch capacity, because those are the only places where the ships are big enough to give us the required strength that we need for our fleet to be viable. Now, what I'm going to do here is build for you a fleet that I normally bring to my if I can get the calculator to work. There it goes. I'm going to be building for you the fleet that I normally bring to my tournaments when I want to bring Craftworld Eldar. Now, obviously, I am no fool. I'm going to be taking Prince Uriel. He is the best commander that you could really ask for. He's reasonably cheap compared to the benefits that he's giving you, and he can buy rerolls just on the spot for a very, very low cost. And I'm obviously going to take the Flame of Assyrian. Why not? It makes him cheaper, and I get all the benefits from him. So that's 125 plus 320 points. Now, I need Wraith ships. Now, if you go back and look at my Wraith ships video, I have a bias on what I like to bring my Wraith ships for. Specifically, I take them with pulsar lances and torpedoes, and I'm going to take 6 of them. Sorry, 3 of them. I don't know what I'm thinking today. So 3 Wraith ships. Okay, I'm at 925. I also need more launch capacity, and for that I'm going to take a Dragon ship, plus 260 points. I am now sitting at 1,185 points. Now, I need escorts, obviously. I'm going to be My options are, of course, the Shadow Hunters, so I don't have much of a choice, so I'm going to go with 240 points worth of Shadow Hunters. I'm now at 425. Now, I got a lot of wiggle room here for putting points where they can be uh, used to incredible effect. Like, I have a dragon ship with launch bays. Well, I'm definitely going to give it Vampire Raiders, and I'm going to give it Aspect Warrior fighting crews. That way, my hit and run attacks out of the dragon ship will cause +1 hit and run attack damage, and if anyone is dumb enough to board me, they're going to really regret it. So now I'm sitting at 1455. I have 45 points left. Now, what are my options here? Let's go look at these upgrades that I have at my disposal. I could take another Aspect Warrior host. I could take a Farseer. Well, I could take either. Let's see here. The best use of my points would be to slap 2 more Aspect Warrior hosts onto a couple of Wraith ships. But I'm also, you know what? I'm going to take a reroll here on Uriel. So boom, 25 points. I'm at 1480. Well, you know what? Look at that. Another Aspect Warrior fighting host goes on one of my Wraith ships, and I'm now at exactly 1,500 points. That is a brutal little fleet. It is very, very efficient and effective. It's very shooty. I've got all my ordnance needs met because I have pulsar lances and torpedoes on the Wraith ships. I have weapons batteries, pulsar. I have weapons batteries and launch bays on my dragon ship. I have weapons batteries, launch bays, and pulsar lances on the flame. So, and of course I have my shadow hunters for anything else that I may need. Now, one question that regularly comes up is, okay, well, you took shadow hunters. Are you taking lance shadow hunters, or am I taking battery shadow hunters? Typically, for me, I tend to take the battery shadow hunters. Why is that? Well, Shadowhunters at 40 points, the lance off of the lance version is just a normal lance. I have pulsars in this fleet already. I really don't have a lot of flexible weapons battery. So in this particular regard, I'm going to take the strength 3 weapons battery. Now, that is how to build a one version of this fleet. Why don't we build a different version of this fleet? Okay, let's say I don't have the Flame of Assyrian. Okay, we can roll with this. So instead of taking the Flame and taking Prince Fancy Pants, I'm going to take a normal Eldar Autarch at 75 points. Okay, he's leadership 9. Now, Autarchs automatically get a dragon ship, so I'll add a dragon ship right off the bat. That is going to be my flagship. I will probably, again, have it with the strength 14 weapons battery and the launch capacity 4. Now, I need more stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 Wraith ships, which unlocks another dragon ship. So I'm going to take that right away. Now, I'm at 915. I'm sitting on 4 cruisers right now. I have a lot of choices here. I can just start swamping the board with Shadow Hunters, but I'll be honest, guys, Shadow Hunters are really not meant to be the linchpin of your fleet for Craftworld. This is a cruiser-heavy fleet. So, in this particular regard, I'm going to recommend well, let's take some Shadow Hunters. Okay, Shadow Hunter Squadron 1. Okay, actually, let's take 2 squadrons of Shadow Hunters. Let's be a little bit interesting. So we're at 1395. We have 1 squadron of weapons battery, 1 squadron of lance Shadow Hunters, 2 Wraith ships, 2 dragon ships. We have 105 points to play around with. Well, I'm going to spend 20 points to get Vampire Hunters, and I'm going to spend 40 points to get Aspect Warrior fighting crews on my dragon ships. I'm back to 1455 again. Now, what should I do with this? Well, I have a lot more issues in this particular regard with making sure I get my reload ordinances off. So I'm going to spend 25 points to get my 1 reroll for my Autarch. And, looking at the situation, I got 20 points left. I can take an Aspect Warrior fighting host on one of my Wraith ships. 1,500 points exactly. That is 2 dragon ships, 2 Wraith ships, 12 escorts, Not a bad 1500 point fleet, and a decent alternative to playing with Prince Uriel if you don't have the flame. All right, everybody, I hope this was a useful video, and I will see you all again in the next one. Have a great day.